Alright guys, I'm still a little bit sick, recovering from COVID at the moment, but I wanted to get a video out today. A lot of you have been commenting that I sound a lot like Doug DeMuro, so maybe my nasally sick voice will differentiate me from him a little bit. Not that I don't like being compared to him, but you know. So in today's video, I want to give an overview of the project we just completed, which is my dad's 1974 Datsun 260Z. Now, if you've watched every single video on this car, a lot of this will be review, but I wanted to collect it all in one video for the guys who might be just tuning in. So to start off, we originally built this car with a small block Chevy and a set of 180-degree headers. And there's actually like a massive transmission tunnel in this car, which was designed to house those 180-degree headers. My dad picked this car up for $100. Now, he bought this thing in like 2005, and these cars used to be like totally worthless. There were tons of them around, and they didn't have the cult following that they do today. So my dad picked up like 5 of these things over the course of a couple years, and he didn't pay more than $100. I think this was the most expensive one he ever bought. Now, those unfamiliar with this car, the 260Z is sort of a rare option. I think it was only 2 years that they offered a 2.6 liter in these cars. So this is sort of a rare car, but at the time they were totally worthless. So my dad decided to turn it into a race car. It was originally built for the Grassroots Motorsports Challenge, and we competed with the car in that event quite a few times. Around the 2012-ish time frame, my dad decided that he wanted to start converting the car into a land speed car, so that is when we performed the lengthening to the front end that you see here. Initially, he took sheet metal. He took 2 fenders and cut the back off of the one and welded it to the other to create this lengthened fender. And he also took the front valence and used that to make the headlight covers for the front. In total, there's about 4 inches added to the front and 16 inches added to the middle. So it is lengthened by a total of 20 inches. Then he went to work making a custom lengthened hood. We had actually made this hood with the hood scoop for another car, but we just had to lengthen it that same 16 inches in order to make it fit this car. The hood is made out of another set of Datsun fenders. This contour here that you see is the same contour that you see on the fenders, and it definitely gives the car a very neat look. Now, why would you want to lengthen the car? Well, as you make the car longer, it makes it more aerodynamically stable, and that was the idea there. After we made all the parts in sheet metal, we had the bodywork done on the fenders by a friend, And then we had another friend that helped us with molding the entire front end and duplicating it in fiberglass. Overall, I think it came out extremely well. It definitely makes for a very interesting look. From that point, we decided that we wanted to put a Turbo LS in the car, and this was actually the first car that we ever did a Turbo LS combination in. This was in the 2015 time frame, and Turbo LS stuff wasn't as well documented as it is today. So we ended up blowing up, I think, 3 Turbo LS engines in this combination, but we learned a lot, and we basically got to the point where we wanted to take this thing back to the Grassroots Motorsports Challenge. And in order to do that, we needed an engine that we could count on, so we ended up putting the small block Chevy back into it with a pretty big shot of nitrous. The car then went its new fastest time of a 9:52 at 144, and from that point it was parked. The car basically sat until we started working on this car earlier this year, where we decided we wanted to put a totally different combination into it, which I'm going to show you today. So let's get started with the rear end. If you guys have watched our other overviews, you're going to notice a trend here. We installed a Ford 9-inch into the rear. On more modern Turbo LS combos, the go-to combination on the rear is a Ford 8.8, but that really wasn't a thing for when this car was built. For the suspension, my dad made some custom-made ladder bars, which tie into the reinforced frame, and he made a custom panhard bar, which is really hard to see, but actually bolts onto the pinion of the rear. Recently, we installed these AFCO rear shocks. They are double adjustable, and the reason that we did this was we were running out of travel on our previous shocks. And if you know anything about suspension tuning, you know that is a big no-no. So I'm excited to try these new fancy things out. Moving forward from the rear, we have the tried and true Turbo 400, or so we thought. This has actually been the point of most of our failures that we've had with this car, with this current combination. As you guys know, we are on our second engine on this combination, and our first failure, well, didn't really have to do with the transmission, but the torque converter. The tabs on it broke, and that caused it to push the flex plate forward, and it knocked out the thrust in the engine. After it blew the torque converter, we decided to put another transmission in it because we didn't want to take any risks there either. And as you guys saw, we took this thing to the track and blew the spare transmission in pretty spectacular fashion. In fact, I'll put in some video here of what exactly failed on it. But we have since fixed it, and we actually installed the original transmission that was in the car because we had it taken apart, inspected, and found that it was totally fine. Moving on to the interior, you'll notice that it has been pretty well gutted. Just about every bit that you see here has been touched, welded, modified, notched, clearanced, or what have you, to fit the engine combinations that have been in this car. In the front, you will see the very much modified transmission tunnel. This was originally done in order to house the 180-degree headers that we had on the V8. And there is also a pretty big tunnel on the passenger side of the car. Originally, this car was set up with an exhaust that went the entire way out the back of the car, and it was a 4-inch tube, so we had to make a pretty big tunnel in order to get that all out the back. My dad did his best to keep as much of the original sheet metal in the car as possible, just because that's kind of his style. You know, we're like the Indians, try to use as much of the original carcass as you can. There's not a whole lot of interesting stuff in here. It's pretty much the standard race car interior. Keep everything as light as possible, but we did decide to keep the original dash, as it didn't really weigh a ton and it was in pretty decent shape. All right, let's move on to the engine. Alright guys, the centerpiece of this whole build has been the engine. As you guys know, from the beginning, our goal was to put in an Ameri-Barra into this car, otherwise known as the Vortec 4200, Trailblazer engine, American 2JZ. It has a lot of nicknames. And our goal with that was to build the quickest and fastest version of a car with a 4200 that we have ever done. Despite only having made incomplete passes with this thing, we have already managed to do that. So we only have room to go up from here. So let's briefly talk about what we have here. This is a 2002 Vortec 4200 bottom end with a ported 2006 cylinder head on top of it. Modifications done to the engine itself include a set of Molnar rods, Chinese head studs, Crowler valve springs, some Schneider Racing reground camshafts, and that's really about it. From there, everything surrounding this engine is custom. The intake manifold was custom made with an extra set of injector bosses so that we could run 2 injectors per cylinder. The goal here was to run E85 on the primary set of injectors and methanol on the secondary set. As you will notice on this car, there is no intercooler. We are relying on the methanol to be our charge cooling, so that is the idea there. What that means is this car has 2 totally separate fuel systems. The front fuel cell that you see, that is for the methanol system, and we have 2 Walbro 450s in that system. And then there is a rear fuel cell in the car, and that is for our E85 system, and that is supplied with a set of Bosch 044 pumps. On our E85 system, we have a set of Snake Eater Performance 1500cc injectors. And on the methanol system, we have a set of Snake Eater Performance, genuine Bosch, 210 pound-per-hour fuel injectors. So this thing has way more injection than it will probably ever need, but I'd say that's better than the alternative. Moving on to the exhaust side, we have a totally custom twin turbo exhaust manifold that we built out of some scraps that were taken from a BMW header that we basically got for free. The turbos are a set of GT3582 turbos, and they have been serving us fairly well. They definitely are sized very well for this particular combo. On the induction side, we have a custom made 6-inch into dual 4-inch Y-pipe that comes directly from the front end of the car and feeds each turbo with nice cool air. Moving on, the oil pan is also totally custom made with some help from our friends at PC Machine Works. They made the flanges in order to make the oil pan, and it is made from 100% new material, which was a whole lot easier to weld than our typical setup. Overall, I'm extremely happy with how this combination made. We made 867 horsepower with this thing on the dyno, and we'll probably be back to make some more. Alright guys, let me know what you guys think of this build. This is sort of our reveal for the paint job as well. I realize I haven't shown that in any other video, so leave a comment down below letting me know what you think of this pretty beastly ride. As you guys know, we built this car for the No Name Nationals, which is taking place in less than 2 weeks in Sikeston, Missouri. So if you guys are in the area, make sure that you check that event out. We will be there with this car along with my dad's Twin Turbo Nova. Make sure you guys check out our shirts, links in the description. Also consider joining the channel if you want to support us more. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, all the things that YouTubers love. I'm gonna go rest for now because I'm feeling a little bit tired. Also, I want to say thanks to everybody that wished me to get well soon, but you know, I wasn't able to get a video out last week, and yeah, this has definitely been a little bit more of a struggle to recover from this than I would have ever thought. With that, we're gonna end the video off there. Thanks to everybody that helped with this project. We'll see you in the next one.
I think this thing longer, you'll be able to land an airplane on.